In a wild turn of events, some leaked footage just surfaced showing Louisville citizens going after members of EST, and the aftermath is something they didn't see coming. What started as an intense showdown quickly turned into a nightmare, leaving everyone involved second-guessing their choices. You don't want to miss the details on how things went south real quick, and why the streets might be even more heated after this. When you're deep in the game, letting people know where you are can be a deadly mistake. Doesn't matter if you're a famous artist or just hustling on the block. Once you're in the streets, you're in for real. Just a few months ago, we saw yet another example with Julio Fulio, even though that was Tampa. Here, we want to talk about Louisville and some of the LV natives, such as Big Beach. Real name Devontae Beach. Now imagine you're managing EST Gee, a big player in the music scene, and one of his people just got locked up for a savage crime. A man and his daughter taken out in their own home. That's a messed up situation, but it gets darker. EST Gee and his ex-manager post bail for this guy, basically spitting on the memory of the young girl who lost her life. And if that wasn't bad enough, the guy has the nerve to celebrate his release with videos online. In the streets, it's always a thin line between staying cool and going for revenge. Once you cross that line, you and your crew are targets. And to make things worse, EST Gee's crew gets hit by the feds for allegedly running drugs and terrorizing the hood. Now, EST Gee is signed to Yo Gotti, who a lot of folks think had something to do with Young Dolph's tragic death.
Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out.
The Memphis police chief is asking everyone to stay home tonight after rapper Young Dolph is gunned down and at a South Memphis cookie shop.
Even when people were pointing fingers at Yo Gotti, EST Gee stood by him. Despite all this chaos, EST Gee still decides to throw a summer jam in your city, a city that's had enough of all the violence and chaos his crew has brought. So, what do you think the people are gonna do? They're already on edge, and now you're giving them a chance to know exactly where you're gonna be. You're basically handing people who are struggling, who can't live like you, a chance to come at you. It's risky, but when you cross that line, it's a risk some are willing to take. Just yesterday, Big Beach was tragically shot down minutes after EST Gee's concert.
Thank you, Suzanne. New this morning, a man is dead following an early morning shooting in downtown Louisville.
Around 1:30 this morning, Louisville Metro Police responded to a report of a shooting near 8th and West Main Streets. When they got there, they found a man inside of a car who had been He was pronounced dead at the scene. LAPD's homicide unit is handling the investigation. Right now, they don't have any suspects.
It was one of the biggest events of the year in Louisville, Kentucky, with over 10,000 people showing up. Even with all those people in tight security, the local police had to put out a statement the night before the concert. But all that security couldn't stop what was coming. They found 31-year-old Big Beach with gunshot wounds inside a car near the concert spot. What makes it worse is that a letter was sent out earlier, warning them to cancel the concert for safety reasons. That letter came from County Attorney Mike O'Connell, sent to the KFC Yum Center's general manager. But even with those serious warnings, the concert still went on, and not long after, Devontae Beach was found dead. So, how did it come to this? Let's talk about EST Gee. George Albert Stone III, better known to the music world by EST Gee, grew up in Louisville, specifically in the streets of 5500 Rangeland Road, surrounded by street life, while his family struggled to get out of the trenches. His mom was grinding hard to give him the best life she could, while his dad, a known gangster, was gunned down when Gee was just 11. Even with such a rough start, Gee always felt like he was meant for something more. He put in work on the football field and earned a scholarship to Indiana State, becoming Kentucky's top linebacker. His skills shined even brighter at Sacramento City College, setting him up for a promising future. But there was another side to Gee's life. He was paying for college out of his own pocket, not wanting to burden his parents. This led him deeper into the street life he grew up around in the Louisville projects, surrounded by pain, gunplay, and shed. Street instincts came naturally to him, and Gee quickly became a key player in the drug game, using that money to fund his football career. But the streets kept pulling him back, and in 2016, he got busted for drug trafficking, facing up to 10 years in prison. With a newborn son on the way, Gee couldn't afford to lose his freedom. Fortunately, he managed to get his charge reduced to 4 months of house arrest and 5 years of probation. This dark moment turned out to be a blessing in disguise. With his football dreams crushed, Gee turned to rapping, taking on the name Big G. He bought a $600 studio package off eBay and started recording tracks from his bathroom while on house arrest. Inspired by Lil Baby's rise, Gee dropped his first official track, Stains, showcasing his raw talent and hunger. Once off house arrest, he went all in on his music, rebranding himself as EST Gee and forming the collective EST, Everybody Shines Together. But despite the unity the name suggests, not everyone wanted to see EST Gee succeed. Still, a key figure in the music game, Yog Peso, played a big role in helping him rise. They were like brothers, having both played football together at Xavier High School. In 2018, they dropped a banger called The Come Up, celebrating Gee's freedom. But things took a dark turn in July 2019 during a studio session at Quality Over Quantity Media Studio. An argument broke out between Gee's and Peso's crews, and shots were fired, leading to the tragic death of 27-year-old Brian Owsley, known as Coach O, or Big O. Coach O wasn't just a mentor for the youth. He was also a respected figure in West Louisville. His death sparked a wave of hood politics, adding more beef and tragedy to Gee's life. After Big O's death and the fallout between EST Gee and Yog Peso's crews, their friendship and music collaboration fell apart. Though Gee and Peso had been tight, their affiliations forced them to go separate ways. That's when H Block Duke, a notorious figure from the West End, started targeting EST Gee. H Block Duke, repping H Block on 23rd and Humler Street in Louisville, made his presence felt in tracks like Cutthroat Baby. Rumors started swirling that the West End was plotting to take EST Gee's life. Despite the rising tension, EST Gee kept grinding, pushing his music and climbing the ranks. He even teamed up with Louisville's own Jack Harlow on the hit track Route 66. Harlow had Gee's back, bringing him out on tour, even though the police warned him to stay away from Gee ducking death. As his buzz kept growing, Gee dropped 2 mixtapes in 2019, El Toro and Die Bloody. His music was blowing up, but with a lot of success in the game comes danger too. After filming the music video for his track Taught Different with Sada Baby, Gee and his brother were driving when another car pulled up and opened fire on their Hellcat. Gee's brother got hit in the leg, and Gee took 4 shots, including one in the stomach and another that ricocheted into his left eye. Gee thought it was the end, but his brother kept him awake and rushed him to the hospital. Gee had multiple surgeries, especially to try and save the vision in his left eye. Against all odds, EST Gee survived and used this near-death experience to fuel his music. He even dropped the video for Taught Different, the same track tied to the attack, and used a photo of himself wearing an eye patch as the cover for his 2020 project, I Don't Feel None. In the track Nathaniel Forrest, he addressed what went down, flipping the tragedy into a powerful statement. In an interview with Off the Porch, Gee talked about the hate and jealousy that led to the fallout with his friend, which ultimately caused the studio shootout that took Big O's life. Gee made a chilling comment during the interview, hinting that payback had already happened and they had got it back in blood. This cryptic statement seemed to reference the killing of West End native Brandon Waddles, who was found dead in his home. Tragically, the shooter also took the life of Waddles' 3-year-old daughter. The connection to EST would come out later, but at first, all law enforcement knew was that they had arrested the shooter, Lawless, and charged him for the crime. In August 2020, a tragic shooting took the lives of a man and his 3-year-old daughter near West Southern Heights. It was around 1 p.m. on a Friday when the police found them at a house on the 3700 block of Clear Avenue. An LMPD officer rushed the little girl, Trinity Randolph, to the hospital, but sadly, she didn't make it. Family members identified the victims, revealing that Trinity had been in the house with her father, Brandon Waddles, when they were both shot and killed. Deeper than music.
New information coming out of the Lawless trial, still underway in Louisville. Lawless is charged with shooting a 3-year-old girl and her father 2 years ago. Today, videos that were shared on social media prior to the shooting were shown in court as evidence. WHS 11's Alexis Jones has been following the trial from the beginning. She is joining us live from the courthouse with more information. Alexis?
That's right, Doug. New information was released today for the Lawless trial. The jury got to see moments before and after the father and his 3-year-old daughter was. One neighbor's reaction after hearing gunshots. Detectives say she saw a man fleeing from Brandon Waddle's home in a black Chrysler 200.
Damn, I couldn't get this damn license plate.
It travel southbound on Kaler and then take a right on Southern Heights.
Homicide detective Timothy O'Daniel says he reviewed several videos after August 14, 2020, including one of Waddles and Kevon Lawless arguing on Instagram Live. In the video, you see Waddles yelling and holding a gun.
Look at him, man. Now Dino dead. Dino dead.
Referring to Cameron Pugh, a juvenile who O'Daniel says was killed on August 25, 2016. He's also the boy you see on Lawless' shirt the day he was arrested. Lawless responded to Waddles by saying,
Try to catch you, boy. Yeah, and I said it on live.
This shows the two interacted before Waddles and his 3-year-old daughter Trinity Randolph was murdered. According to Kentucky's medical examiner, Dr. Lauren Lippincott, Waddles was 6 times in his lower body on the 14th, and Randolph was twice.
If the bleeding isn't contained, someone could die from these injuries.
When the crime went down, Kevon Lawless, aka Locator, got arrested, and by August 2022, Kevin Lawless was sentenced to life without parole. The beef between EST Gee and H Block Duke only got worse after that. H Block Duke dropped a diss track called EST, which he flipped to mean everybody got together. The shots Duke took were brutal. He even included footage of Gee's bullet-riddled car and him stitched up in the hospital. In the track, Duke rapped, "We get on EST for free. Ask Gee about that freeway. We're the reason for that bad eye and that zip on his stomach, and a couple of his dead homies." That last line hinted that the West End crew was behind the deaths of some of Gee's close friends. One of those friends was reportedly Austin Floyd, a tight associate of Gee's. Floyd was killed on the 200 block of North 36th Street, passing away at the University of Louisville Hospital. Floyd's death hit Gee hard. They were like brothers. And Floyd had appeared in several of Gee's music videos, including Get Money. Gee keeps Floyd's memory alive by using his picture as his profile image on Instagram. The violence and loss seemed never-ending, but EST Gee wasn't about to let things slide. The cycle of retribution continued when Newburgh affiliate Warren Freeman was charged with the killing of West End associate Reginald Johnson in Louisville's Highlands neighborhood. Even though Freeman was caught on video shooting at Johnson, the case got dismissed due to lack of probable cause, letting Freeman walk free. This was a big win for EST, showing their strength and ability to hit back hard. Despite all the chaos and personal losses, Gee's music career kept soaring. He linked up with big names like Moneybagg Yo, Lil Baby, and Lil Durk. In the video for In Town, Gee paid tribute to his fallen friend Austin Floyd by including clips of him throughout. Gee's success hit another level when he signed with Yo Gotti's CMG label, scoring a $750,000 bonus. His music was connecting with a bigger audience, and he was quickly rising in the rap game. EST Gee made it clear he was all about getting revenge on anyone who crossed him, especially in his track Lick Back, where he went after his enemies with full force. Gee was riding high, taking over the music industry. But then his world started to crumble with a string of devastating personal losses. First, he lost his mother to a tumor, and soon after, his brother was in the streets. As if that wasn't enough, the law came down hard on the entire EST crew in a massive federal drug bust. Even though EST Gee didn't get arrested, his name and crew were all over the news. The feds labeled EST as a street gang running in Louisville and took down 10 of their members on charges of drug distribution and conspiracy. 3 members are still on the run. This bust was part of the federal initiative Project Safe Neighborhoods, with the investigation heating up after Kevin Lawless allegedly killed Brandon Waddles and his 3-year-old daughter, Trinity Randolph. Lawless got bailed out with $300,000 using multiple checks stamped with Everybody Shine Together Entertainment, a company connected to both EST Gee and his manager and business partner, Eric Mosley. The authorities started digging into the lyrics of EST Gee's track Sky Dweller, where he raps, "They want 1 mil for Lil Cater. No, I'm coming to get you, baby. Know my heart might get me drilled, but it got me here, so risk I'm taking." Lil Cater is Kevin Lawless's street name. The name on the bail check was Nigel Talley, an A&R at Atlantic Records, who connected Gee with Yo Gotti. This evidence helped the feds piece together the connections and execute the takedown. They arrested Mosley at a Louisville hotel, finding him with a kilo of coke, $100,000 in cash, an AK-47 style pistol, and a stolen handgun. Mosley was facing a minimum of 10 years in prison, with the max being life. With Mosley behind bars, EST Gee needed a new manager. That was Devontae Beach, aka Big Beach, who we already talked about, and you know how his story ended. And that's the raw, unfiltered story of EST Gee's rise, fall, and the relentless drama that's followed him every step of the way. From the early days of hustling through the streets of Louisville to his meteoric rise in the rap game, Gee's journey has been anything but ordinary. He's faced betrayal, violence, and personal loss. But through it all, he's kept pushing, using every setback as fuel for his music. The feud with H Block Duke, the tragic loss of his close friends, and the intense legal battles are just part of a larger narrative that's still unfolding. With every hit track and every brush with danger, EST Gee's story is a testament to the resilience and grit of someone who's seen it all and still stands tall. But it's not just about the music, it's about the real-life drama and personal sacrifices behind the scenes. The streets of Louisville have seen their fair share of conflict, and EST Gee's life is a stark reminder of the price of fame and the chaos that can come with it. So as the story continues to evolve, one thing's for sure, EST Gee's journey is far from over. Stay tuned, because in the world of hip-hop and beyond, the next chapter is always just around the corner.